This meeting is being recorded.
Hello, and welcome again to another episode of Something Something Chat Show where Tom Jr. Jackson presents After the Movie Review episode. There's episode
This meeting is being recorded.
episode 35. And today's After the Movie Review is Silence of the Lambs, 1991 film. Before we begin, please remember, as always, like, comment, subscribe, share. Down in the description box, check out the Burnett Work and Positive Fandom as well. Now, as we get into this, let's just get right into this because this is probably going to be a long one. So 1991 is the year. Jonathan Demme brought Thomas Harris's 1988 book, The Silence of the Lambs, to the screen. And the film is a psychological horror thriller, and it stars Jodie Foster as Clarice Starling and Sir Anthony Hopkins as Hannibal, the cannibal Lecter. Excuse me. The film itself is about an FBI trainee named Clarice Starling who is tasked by her boss to track down a serial killer named Buffalo Bill. She gets help from a brilliant but cannibalist psychoanalyst doctor, Dr. Hannibal Lecter. And what I think about this film is the film itself is masterfully crafted. It keeps you at the edge of your seat. Like, even now, to this day, watching this film, you're at the edge of your seat. Even though you may know what's coming, you're at the edge of your seat and you feel that tension. Um, as Clarice tries to track down Buffalo Bill and get inside the mind of Dr. Lecter. Uh, let's go down. Like, performance-wise, Jodie Foster gives a powerful performance as Clarice, who is both vulnerable and determined, and she really is in this film. That her character is a determined one and wants to get to the bottom of the problem, to where Buffalo Bill is. And Anthony Hopkins is nothing more than short of mesmerizing and sensationalist Dr. Lecter. And when you see him and you see the intellect and the charisma that he has in it, it just makes him even more frightening and captivating as well. What I noticed watching the film is that it carries a tense and suspenseful atmosphere from when it first came out in 1991 to 31 years later, which it is now. It still has that, of where you watch it and you're sitting like this at first, and excuse me, and you don't realize that you're going, watching it, and you're watching it, and as you're watching it, you're leaning forward and forward and forward into it, and takes a very special film to do that. It's not a whole lot of films can do something like that. It's something that a trained director who knows what they're doing can do. They have to be able to know where to fit those beats and of okay, this is fine, this is fine. We're gonna build tension, 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 scare, bring it down a bit, tension, 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 scare. So it is just one of those films, and it achieves through a combination of tight editing, experienced cinematography, and let's see here, and a very haunting score by Howard Shore. And that score for the film is unbelievably haunting, but it's beautiful and it's captivating, it it's almost like the unsung character in the film. Um, the cinematography, as I said before, is partly noteworthy for the use of color. And how is that? Because the film is dark and has a moody palette. Like if you look at this background here, this is Hannibal Lecter's cell. You could tell from the background of it. It's dark. It's moody. Something's up with this guy. Why is he in that cell? What is it about that cell that they had to put up that he, is in there? And it's just the patterns and the way the darks and stuff work. It's a very moody film, but a very tense film, a very suspenseful film, an excellent film at that. And I love this film. I absolutely love it. And it's just one of those films where, if you see it, you got to watch it. You're like, okay, I got such and such to do at such and such time. I'll just watch this much. And it turns out you're watching the whole film. And it's just, it sucks you in. Um, the what makes this film iconic is and memorable is the dialogue between Lecter and Starling, and the tense and eerie. It's tense and eerie, leaving you, the viewer, be the viewer, guessing about Dr. Lecter's motives. Like, why is he trying to get inside of Clarissa's head? And yeah, it's a hell of a film, a hell of a film, and it's just one of those films that I certainly do enjoy watching when it's on, or even if I find it online. Like if I just like right now, I believe it's streaming on HBO Max, and it's still eerie to this day, but it's a great film. And the film is a masterful work of suspense overall, and it's on a Hitchcock level. And thinking about saying it like that, I would have loved to have seen what Hitchcock would have done with this film. I wonder if he would have done it the same way, if he would have made the same choices. And yeah, it's something that you wonder, but it's very much on a Hitchcockian level. Um, and it's on that level that it continues to hold up 30 plus years later. After the film's release, it's done this with powerful performances, expert storytelling, and a cultural impact that makes it a must see for fans of this kind of film's genre. And it's a landmark in history of horror cinema. And I remember being in high school when this came out. So let's see, 91. It's about 14, maybe 15, something like that when this came out. And I remember the hubbub about it, the hubbub about it, and how they they didn't want us to see this because of the the topic and how graphic it was. And there is some very, very graphic scenes in this film, but it's done for all the right reasons. And if it wasn't done for the right reasons, then we would have had a problem with it. But I love this film very much, and I love the book as well. I recommend this film because from start to finish, its suspense will keep you on the edge, and the impact from this film continues to be left to this day. So it's just one of those things where um, it leaves a mark on you. Like Scott, what's his name? Scott Glenn plays Jack Crawford in this film, and this film had cooperation from the FBI uh, to be made, and they helped out with showing how the FBI goes through doing this and that. And at one point, Scott Glenn went up to the man who was helping them out. Said, "Thank you for helping me out. Um, then thank you for letting me into your world for a day." And he said, "If you heard or saw what I seen in my world, you wouldn't want to be in it." And he goes, "Oh, I'd like to see that." And he was played a tape of serial killers doing unthinkable things. They were killing and assaulting young women, and he took the headphones off, and he never forgot them. They That image, that sound, stuck with him forever, and he couldn't get it out of his mind. He returned the tape to the FBI agents and said that he felt a piece of his innocence was gone because of that. And it makes you think of what these FBI agents go through who deal with um, murderers and serial killers and all that stuff, and the stuff they see and they hear. How anybody can go through that, it blows my mind in how they can focus on it but not become personalized with it. Um, Jodie Foster claims that when you first see Lecter and Clarice meet, and Lecter mocks her southern accent, that was improvised, and the look of her that's that's on Jodie Foster's face is a look of horrific, is one that's horrified and real. It's a real um, general reaction to it, and she wasn't expecting that, but she thanked Anthony Hopkins afterwards for doing that. Um, after, let's see here. All right, so there's a scene where Hannibal is moved from the prison in Baltimore to another jail or something like that, and the plan was to put him either in orange or yellow and make him stand out. And Anthony Hopkins went to the director and the costumer and said, "No, no, you don't want to do that. Put me in a pure white uh, clothing because it would be more unsettling because it would remind someone of dentists or a doctor or something like that." And that absolutely works. It absolutely uh, fits in with that. And to prepare for the role, Anthony Hopkins studied files of serial killers and visited prisons, and was present during uh, some court hearings concerning gruesome murderers, and serial killers. If I could talk to Anthony Hopkins, I'd love to talk to him about that, and what that if that at all made an impact on him. Did it disturb him? Is it something that he said, okay, I've run that. Here it is. It's gone. It's done. I would like to know those things. Um, Now, Anthony Hopkins is only in this film for like 21% of the time, meaning that he's only in for 24.52 minutes, and that's the second shortest time in the film. And as I said before, the real FBI Behavioral Science Unit assisted in the making of this movie. And if you want to know more about the FBI Behavioral Science Unit, look up the book Mindhunter by John Douglas, who Jack Crawford is based on. And I believe they did a Netflix show, Mindhunters. But the book Mindhunter will take you inside that world and whatnot. And it is a fantastic book. The audio book is great too, as well. Um, let's see here. Gene Hackman bought the rights to the novel. He planned to direct the film and star as Hannibal or even Jack Crawford, but changed his mind after watching a clip of himself in Mississippi Burning while at the Oscars. He figured he'd done one violent role. He didn't want to be typecast in a very violent role at that. That would have been an interesting choice for Hannibal Lecter. As a matter of fact, some of the people that they wanted for Hannibal Lecter at one point was Christopher Lloyd, Dustin Hoffman, Robert Duvall. I mean, they had a lot of great names. Um, as I said before, the FBI helped out with the film because they saw it as a potential recruiting tool to hire more female agents. And I think they it's been said that women who have became agents in the FBI became them because they watched Silence of the Lambs. I could be wrong on that quote, so don't quote me on that. The film made back its budget in the first week of release, and you don't really hear that much these days. Um, yeah, not a whole lot. Let's see. Within 10 years of the release of the film, the building that was used as the exterior for the asylum that the Lecter's in was shut down, demolished, And when they went to do um, Red Dragon in 2002, 20 years ago, um, they reused the footage from Silence of the Lambs in that movie. So the outside of the prison is from Silence of the Lambs. Who knew? I didn't know that. Anthony Hopkins described his Hannibal Lecter voice as a combination of Truman Capote and Katharine Hepburn. I'll let that one sink in for you. Um, Jodie Foster and Anthony Hopkins only have share four scenes in the film, but you would think that Hannibal Lecter is in the film much longer, but he's not. He's only in four scenes with her. It was named to the National Film Registry in 2011 for its cultural, historical, or aesthetic significance. And it is a moment in time. It is a historically accurate film. It is a film that, like I said before, you could watch over and over, and that it just sucks you right in and uh, gives you um, just blows you away, I should say. Uh, it is on now AFI, which is the American Film Institute. They had the 50 greatest heroes, and out of those 50, Jodie Foster's character Clarice Starling was number 6 of the greatest heroes list. And on their 50 greatest villains list, number 1 was Anthony Hopkins as Hannibal, Hannibal Lecter. This is a film that I think it hits all those buttons that you want it to hit. It takes you to places you don't expect. It's frightening, it's intense, it's suspenseful, it's a thriller. It makes you laugh, but it's an uneasy laugh. It gives you a good jump scare. It is a Hitchcockian film, as I said before, and it very much could have been a Hitchcock film. I think Alfred Hitchcock could have made this. Could it made it a better film? Maybe, I don't know. It's I guess it's all in how you see it. Now, I want to thank you all for watching this review. This has been episode 35 of After the Movie Review from Something Something Chat Show with Tom Jr. Jackson. And as always, I am Tom Jr. Jackson, as it says right here on my screen. Tom Jr. Jackson. And as always, please remember to like, comment, subscribe, share. Watch a lot of the videos on the channel. Check out the Bird Network, which is in the description box for that. They have some great shows every Monday night, 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific. Ladies of the PGS. We have the host RM, who is also the um, channel host of Positive Fandom, and she has her own show every Sunday morning, 10 a.m. No, 10:30 a.m. Eastern, 7:30 a.m. Pacific. Sunday morning brunch with RM and Russ Whitfield. So check it out. So in the meantime, we will see you next time with another video. I hope you're all doing well. And as always, please remember Nice para la Chianti.